Hello everyone, and welcome to tonight's training. I hope everybody comes to see me, and I hope you guys can find me because, you know, I like to screw stuff up. So, hi everybody. I guess I can see you guys. It says viewers, so I guess somebody's viewing me. Hi, my name is Tammy Joya, and I'm an advocate and a parent coach. I help parents navigate school districts regarding special education. So what I do is provide training to the parents to ensure that they have an equal and level playing field against school districts. So before we begin, I just want to say hi and thank you to everyone who you guys have been awesome coming to see me. So I don't know if you guys are going to like this or not, but based on all of the statements that and questions that you guys are asking me, I think this is very important for you guys to have at your disposal. I have to stop doing that. So it's been an interesting week. Parents have been contacting me with some, I feel so bad for you guys that I just don't know what to tell you. It's not uncommon. What you guys are going through right now it's not uncommon. It happens all the time, which is why I can pretty much just tell you what to do by sending you an email. And you will get responses, and they're not going to like the responses that I give you. Many of the responses that I've been providing to you guys have to do with history and what I've done in the past to ensure that my clients' rights have been, hello, Wendy, to ensure that my clients' rights have been protected. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about various things that usually when I write a complaint or due process hearing, that are part of my complaint. And it's because it's the way the regs are written. A lot of parents are writing complaints and due process hearings from the heart, which I understand why you would do all of that. It's because it's painful what you're going through, and you think that people will listen and they will get it and they will do the right thing, and then they don't. And we all understand that. So now what we're going to start doing is we're going to start being more proactive, which means you guys need some information and you guys need the knowledge to make this all come together, okay, for you guys. So what we're going to talk about is how do you write up FAPE? First of all, I just want to make sure, did everybody get the paperwork that I left on the page? That's what we're going to be using tonight. So just so you know. So when you're writing up a complaint, you have to set it up in a certain, after you get through the application part of it, you have to set up your complaint in a certain kind of way, which is why I tell you guys. First of all, can you guys hear me? Because I don't know. Wendy, can you hear me? Just do something funny so I know you can hear me. Because I don't know what's going on. I never know what's going on. I would expect that you would have already said you can't hear me. So, anywho, thank you. What I think is you need to formally train the trainer that will teach in all the areas that you've connected with your amazing passion. Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, I know. It's funny because I've actually asked OSEP, you know, what the hell are you guys doing? Because every state has to have parent training centers, but they're real slick about the training centers. See, they don't teach you guys what I'm teaching you. If every single parent got in contact with the parent training, you know, to be an advocate for your kid, they're not going to tell you anything that I just told you. Anything that you guys have been, all the information that I've been giving to you guys, you're not going to get any of that from them. You're going to get the basics. And when I say basics, they're going to tell you where the idea is, maybe. Putting together this kind of stuff, they're not going to tell you. What they're going to tell you to do is, you're the trainees. That's right. That's right, you are. What they're going to do is they're going to tell you to collaborate. with the school. Don't argue. Don't fight. Collaborate. Yeah, collaborate for them means sit down, shut up, and don't touch anything. That's what that means. That's code for sit down, shut up, don't touch anything. Okay. So what I do is I actually teach you how to be proactive in your own path to getting the services that your kid needs. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. So tonight we're going to talk about what does fate mean, and how do you put fate in a complaint? What does that look like? And the same thing for parent participation, for consent, informed consent, prior written notice, evaluation procedures, student records, reasonably calculated IEP. Hey, Linda, collaborate. Collaborate only works when they listen. They don't listen, Linda. And I'm going to put up this, you know what, guys, can you just excuse me for just one hot second? I'll be right back. Hi, I'm sorry. Well, see, what I did is I put this stupid app on my phone for Xfinity. So every time the house phone rings, so does my phone. Doesn't matter where I'm. So it makes this stupid noise. So until I hit it and swish it on my phone, it just keeps making that annoying noise. But anyway, so I'll be taking that off my phone real quick. So collaboration is when two parties come together and they work it out. They try to resolve the issue. There's give and take on both sides. With school districts, not so much. It's either their way or the highway, like I used to say in Massachusetts. It's either you guys are going to do this, or we're heading down the highway. We're going to go to Malden, or we're going to go to Boston, because now I almost spilled my tea. We're going to go to Boston, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a hearing. And you guys can tell all this nonsense to the hearing officer, because I don't care. Just like you guys don't care, neither do I. So I don't, they blow smoke. Oh God, girl, who you telling? Yes, they do. They blow it hard too. It's like, hello, that hurts. Just saying. But anyway, we're gonna blow some too. We're gonna blow some serious up there, because it's not nice what they're doing to you guys. Okay, none of it's nice. So, the paperwork that I sent you, and if you guys want a copy of it and you can't get it off the Facebook page, let me know. Inbox me, and tomorrow I'll just send it to you guys, okay? It's not a problem. It's all done up and everything. What this document is, here it is right here. So I'm just going to do silly, okay? So what this document is a template, okay? So when you're filing for a complaint, I'll just talk first. When you're filing a complaint, what you need to do is figure out what you want. Okay, so here's major topics. This should be in almost every single complaint or due process hearing. Okay, all of these areas that I touched on, in some way, shape, or form, the school district has violated all of these things. Okay, so what you guys need to do is you need to write down under each category. So you get a sheet of paper, and next to all of these categories that I've written out. Okay, what you guys need to do is you need to break it down for you. And I put in for instances in some of them. So let me go in and look at it. For instance, so it says here, failure to provide FAPE to the student is when a school district did not implement an agreed upon IEP. For instance, did not implement services, goals, or objectives. That means that's a violation. So that means that IEP isn't worth the paper it's written on. It's not good. Okay, the kid didn't meet the goals, didn't achieve the goals, didn't make reasonably adequate yearly progress. None of that happened because they didn't implement the IEP. The problem with this one is you actually have to have proof, which is when I always tell you guys about the paper trail. Okay, so when you do the paper trail, then you'll be able to make that one happen. Now, underneath all of that is more. There's more, course, because I always put more. More is always better. More is always good. So then another one. Another one is the school district didn't evaluate in all areas of disability. Okay, I know that's a mouthful, but it's not really that hard. For instance, the district did not evaluate the student for social skills, pragmatic language issues, or specific areas in math, such as, for instance, here's another thing. So I'm going to do this. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to check and see if you can. Alrighty then. How do I make that happen? So share. Let's do this one. Let me share another one. This is the list. Okay. Here is the list of areas. Okay. So I hope I'm sharing. I gotta go in and check this now. Wait, guys. I don't know. Okay. Put it up there. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just moving stuff around. Okay. So remember, I said FAPE, right? So FAPE is that. Let me just double check. Did I say? Okay. Or specific areas of math. Okay. So what you want to do is this. So we go here. I'm going to do this. Okay, we're just not going to do it, I guess. Okay, let me just read it to you. It's easier. Is this one? That's the same thing. Okay, never mind. I'm talking to myself, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so was that it? I think that's it. Yes, it is. Okay, do this one. Let me see. Nope, that ain't it. No. Okay. I don't know where it is. Sorry about that. I keep messing with you guys. Okay, so hi, Courtney. I'm hot again. Okay, so the specific areas of math could be like this. So that's when you go to Pearson Clinical and you look up like the key math tests, for instance. Say you're having a problem with them because they didn't evaluate in all areas regarding math. And you're like, what are you guys doing? So then when they say, yes, we did. So this is what you can tell them. You go on Pearson Clinical, right? And you look up, what is it called? The key math test, okay? It's called the key math test. So here's some of the areas. So for math, they didn't measure the ability to count. Okay. Oh, I wonder what. And part of the ability to count is to identify numbers or solve simple oral math problems, oral being the key, okay? And calculate written math problems. They didn't do that. There's nothing in their assessment that says any of that, what the levels are. They didn't measure and assess the ability to complete arithmetic, algebra, geometry, advanced operations, math concepts and applications, math computation, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and that's higher skills. So the older your kid is, the more your kid's going to need to know the higher stuff beyond identifying the numbers. Sometimes kids can't identify the numbers and they might be in the 7th grade. And it depends on the disability and if the child is developmentally challenged. However, they still should be able to tell you what your kid can and cannot do. So if your kid can't count or can only count to 10 and your kid's in the 4th grade, that's a problem. Because if your kid can only count to 10, then your kid can't add and subtract double and triple digit numbers, right? See how that works? So that's how you get them. Okay, that's why I tell you guys it's real important to get the evaluations 48 hours before a team meeting so you can get a highlighter and you get to highlight. Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna drink my tea because I'm about to fall asleep again. I'm gonna get a cup that says the torturer. That'd be me. Anywho, so that's some of the things that you can use. What am I doing now? What's this? Is this it? I'm just trying to check out my stuff, guys. Oh, there it is right there. Duh. So see what I'm talking about right there with the math? Honest to goodness. Okay. I don't know where is that? Okay. So see where it is right here? Here's all the math one. I'll just highlight it for you guys. Okay. So if they didn't evaluate in all of these areas, and they didn't evaluate in all areas of suspected disability, which means they denied FAPE. Because had they done that, had they evaluated in all of those areas, then they may have found that your child needs more supports and services. Oh my. Yeah, no. They don't want you having more support services. Okay. What they want you to do is sit down, shut up, and don't touch nothing. Okay. They want you to just listen to them. So what your kid can add and subtract and multiply by double-digit numbers. So what your kid can identify numbers beyond 10. What does he need to for? Why does he need to do that anyway? Right? Mm-hmm. Or that cup. Yeah, I'm telling you. Or that other cup. Yeah. The see you next Tuesday cup. That's my favorite. I think I'm going to get that one. Well, team meeting Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. I really like that cup. But anyway, stop taking me off track, Wendy. So when directly asked to do that, what if there is a serious pragmatic language skills and refused at 3 meetings to give recommendations? What you do is you put it in writing and you say just what you said to me. Take out the what if part. During our team meeting, you said, I requested yada, yada, yada. At 3 different team meetings. And then when you say 3 at 3 meetings, you type in the date of each one of those meetings. And you tell them, and then you send them the speech and language evaluation that doesn't give, so you're refusing to give my kid, or see, I get ahead of myself and get all crazy. Let me slow it down. Okay. First, you got to put it in my writing. Exactly what you just did. Okay. To me. Except take out if there is. You put during 3 separate team meetings, and then you put the 3 dates. I specifically asked the speech and language pathologist for speech and language skills and was refused at 3 team meetings, yet I never got prior written notice. Given the fact that the denial or to give me recommendations, I don't understand. There's no recommendations, first of all. They either give you and put it in the IEP or they don't. There's no recommendation. The recommendations is in the IEP. That's what's throwing me off. Okay, guys, look. When you go to a team meeting and you ask for something and they say no, they have to put it in writing. They can't just say no. They can't just verbally say no. You put it in writing. You tell them. The last 3 team meetings, ... I asked for ... And you said no, ... However, what you didn't tell me is 34 CFR 300.503. That's what you tell me. Okay. 34 CFR 300.503 is prior written notice. Within prior written notice, that's why I just told you. See? Let's see which one is prior written notice. Prior written notice is number 4 on my due process complaint. Due process and complaint list that I just showed you guys. Okay? It's number 4. Okay? I told you it happens all the time. You see, when the school district tells you no, that's called what you just did, that they violated 2 laws. Okay? When they told you no, 1, here's a question for you, Jen. Did they put it in writing? And did they tell you exactly there's 7 items? Let me show you. There's 7 things when the state says they're going to, when you ask them for something, I mean, when you ask the school district for something and the school district says no, there's a process. And the process is they have to tell you why they're refusing. And when they tell you why they're refusing, they have to put it in writing and they have to answer like 7 questions. Okay. Now, the 7 questions are under 34 CFR 300.503. And when they tell you why they refused it, they also have to tell you what your rights are to dispute or challenge them. Oh, yeah, girl. Okay, so let me tell you what it says. Refuses. Okay. I'm going to highlight it so you guys can see it when I pull it up. Oops. Okay. I'm going to share the screen so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? So they were supposed to put it in writing, and then they're supposed to give you your rights. So they're supposed to tell you, getting tired of this stupid program. Let's see what this one is. Okay, it is. All right. So all right, I'm getting it up for you guys to see it. Okay, this is so low. All right. Okay, see that? That's 34 CFR 300.503. And there's 7 things under, I highlighted, okay, in which it talks about what the school district has to do. When you ask for something and they say no, you ask for what you're asking for is under, let me do it this way, is or, see where it says or the provision of faith, okay? So, first of all, they violated faith because you're saying your kid needs this. The reason why you're saying your kid needs this particular service is because without it, he will not get a free, appropriate public education, okay? Now, so that's one violation for what you just asked me. Now, when the school district said no, refused to give you an answer as to why, these are all the questions they were supposed to answer in writing to you. Says, refuses, this is when the school district refuses, okay, to initiate or change the identification, evaluation, or educational placement of the child or the provision of faith to the child, because it is they're saying no to your request, okay? So then it says the content of the notice, because they're refusing, must have this stuff. It must include a description of the action that they're refusing, okay, an explanation of why they're refusing to take the action, a description of each evaluation procedure, assessment, record, or report the agency used as a basis for the refusal to act on your request, a statement that the parents of the child with a disability have protection under the procedural safeguards of this part, which is the right to dispute and challenge them, so to file a complaint or a hearing. That's what that means, procedural safeguards. The sources, they're supposed to give you the sources where you can obtain information and understanding the provision of that part, okay? A description of other options that the IEP team considered and the reasons why those options were rejected, and a description of other factors that are relevant to the agency's refusal. And in this instance, all about the refusal, okay? So, so what you do is you put it in writing to them, and you, just like I said, you say, on such and such a dates, on 3 separate occasions at 3 separate team meetings, I asked for, and to date, now you don't want recommendations. I want to know why my kid can't have this. Real easy. That's all you said. I want to know why he can't have it. If the school district is refusing to give me these services for my kid, then the school district has to put it in writing. That's all you said. The school district has to put it in writing why I can't have it and how you came to your determination. Please review 34 CFR 300.503. That's what you do, okay? That's how you get it. They're going to come back with something stupid, and that's okay, because now you have their written stupid explanation as to why they told you no. That's not going to make any sense, and it's not going to meet the federal standards, not the state standard. It's not going to meet the federal standards because they're stupid. So right then and there, you have complaints. You have a complaint ready to rock and roll. As soon as you get that email from them, you can file a complaint. Because now you can say, why didn't they give it to them? Is it because they didn't evaluate in that area? Oops, guess what? Let's look down. That's number 5. That's number 5. They did not evaluate, and they can't give you an answer because my hair's driving me nuts. They didn't give you an answer because they didn't evaluate in those areas. And that's the other question you asked. Did you evaluate? It doesn't look like you evaluated for pragmatic language. Now, you got to be careful. I want you guys all to know this. Under the evaluation procedures, it's real clear. The school district has to evaluate in all areas of suspected disability. Now, a lot of states and a lot of school districts, they like to get what's called second bite of the apple. Yeah, what they like to do is when you ask them for why, you know, what I just did with you, you didn't evaluate my kid, or you asked for an independent evaluation, they'll say, we'll do the evaluation. No, bite me. You're not doing it. So tell me why you didn't do it the first time then. Hello? Is there a special reason why? Yeah. The school district didn't evaluate my kid. And I'm just going to throw this out there and just because I don't know about your kid. But I want to say my kid that has autism. One of the biggest problems with autism is communication on all kind of levels. One being pragmatic language skills, a lack thereof. And you people, and the speech and language pathologists didn't think to evaluate my kid for pragmatic language. Are you kidding me? Then she's stupid. I don't want that woman anywhere near my kid. See, that's the kind of stuff I say. Because she is. She's incompetent. Or it was deliberate. Pick one. Either one is bad. Either one is bad. It was either deliberate, and now they want a second bite at the apple. The answer is no. You're not getting a second bite at the apple. You're not going anywhere near my kid because you're stupid. I want to know why you didn't know to evaluate my kid in all areas of suspected disability. I want you to tell me in writing why you didn't know what to do. So why should I give you a second bite at the apple? I mean, Jesus Christ, how many times do you people have to? That's what they do, though, to you parents. And a lot of parents say, okay, don't say okay. Because if you file for a due process hearing, you can tell the hearing officer in a motion, and the hearing officer can issue the order for the school district to do that. Because all you have to say is, Your Honor, I don't know how we're going to address this issue because my child was never evaluated in that area. And then the school district's attorney is going to say, we told her we would do it. Yeah, right. Well, then that means, because this paper right here says you did do evaluations. Then what they're suggesting is that they didn't evaluate in all areas of suspected disability. See what I'm talking about? They lose no matter what. And then you tell the hearing officer, no, what I want you to do, hearing officer, is I want you to issue an order for them to go and conduct. I want to pick my own speech and language pathologist. They're not picking it for me. That's not an independent. That's their people. I don't want them picking nobody. The only thing they're mandated to do is give you a list of potential people that you could use if you don't know where to look for them. That's all the school district's supposed to do with an independent, by the way. You don't choose their list. You go find your own. Because those people on that list, like I told you in New York, they gave us a list with a dead person on it, and everybody else was retired. There was only one person on that list that the parent could have used, and they set it up that way. They knew all those people were either retired, moved out of state, or dead. There was only one person on their list that was viable. And that's the one they wanted us to use. Bite me. No, we didn't want that one. What happened in that case is the hearing officer came back, found them in noncompliance because they used their opinions rather than technically sound instruments, because a lot of school districts think that their staff is valid and reliable, technically sound instruments, which means they're all stupid, because anybody that knows anything in this field of education knows that a technically sound instrument, if you're in education, you tapped onto this psychology stuff. You tapped into testing. You tapped into special education. You tapped into IDEA as part of your coursework. It came up. They all know about this. Don't sleep. Don't let them go to sleep, because I'm telling you right now, they know. Everybody over there knows. They might not know the exact everything, but they know what a technically sound instrument is. They know what the WISC-5 is. Every last one of them sitting at the table. They all know what the difference between a WISC-5 and the teacher doing a math test on your kid. Believe that. They do. Okay? So, anywho. Oh, God. Amen. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Marianne. Hey, Erin. I missed you guys. That's sad. Erin, I asked to testing for auditory processing, then they said they do not test for that. No, they don't, because you know who tests for that? An audiologist. Most school districts don't have an audiologist. So what you do is you tell them, I'm going to need this testing, and you're going to have to put it in writing pursuant to 34. That's evaluation. Falls under 503. You put it in writing to them, Erin, and you said, I'm going to say it one more time. I am requesting auditory processing. What you want is called a CAPA valve, okay? Central auditory processing. And you want an audiologist to conduct it, okay? That's what you want. And you tell them, what does that, I don't know what that means. You don't do that. You do that. It's called an evaluation. You pay for it. You hire somebody and you pay for it. You tell them to put it in writing why they can't do it. That's what you do. You tell them all you have to look at. If you can't remember anything else that I'm telling you, when it comes to this, all you have to remember is say this: pursuant to 34 CFR 300.503, you refused an evaluation that I am requesting for auditory processing. I'm going to need you to put it in writing and to answer all of the questions under the federal law. That's what you tell them. In an email. That's what you tell them. And then when they come back with something stupid, you contact me again, and I will help you file the complaint. That's just priceless. I can't even do that. It's just priceless. I mean, no, it's not true. So in answer to your question, no, it's not true. Anything you ask for, they have to do. Okay, that's under any area that your kid, any area that could impact or hinder your child's ability to access the general curriculum, the school district has the ability to test. Tell them you didn't ask them if they had somebody. What you could do is really nail them, and just before you tell them about 503 is say, I don't understand. Could you clarify what that means? You don't do that. You don't do what? Test? You don't test for auditory processing? I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, you guys got to learn how to play dumb. Hey, Paula. Hey, Mary. Speech and language told me she can diagnose autism. No, she can't. Tell her you want a copy of her medical degree. Stupid idiot. She can't do it. Get her license number, report her ass. Tell her to put that in writing. Nothing. Tell them stop doing this and put it in writing. You put it in writing to her, Mary, and say, according to you, on such and such a date, you told me you could diagnose my kid with autism. Do you want to explain how you did that? Are you a medical licensed person? Since when do schools? Because that's not what OSEP said. I didn't know. I own the only people that I know that can diagnose. Because now I got to contact, the people. So the people who license you, that's how you get them, Mary. So you're telling me that the people who license you, your license regulations include that the parameters in which your license works includes diagnosing children with autism. Is that what you're telling me? So what you do is, like in Massachusetts, she said, oh, stop. She did not. Okay. Didn't you tell me you filed against that crazy wench? Didn't you tell me that? And she's gone. Stop telling me stuff. It just makes me mad. But anyway, okay. Everything they say is a lie. It's just a big fat lie. When you're talking to you, you just go, yada, yada, yada. They're just talking to you. You don't even care. It's like you shut off your ears. Shut them off. Because everything they're saying is a lie. First of all, make them put it in writing. Okay. I can diagnose stupid. There you go. I diagnose too. That's what you said. Stupid. I think you're stupid. What diagnose? You're a doctor now, huh? So you stupid school districts just think that you guys can do whatever. That's why they think the way they do. That's why they do this crazy stuff. I'm going to good girl. It's not funny. I just want to choke somebody out. I just don't understand, you know, the sheer stupidity. That's like me. I have a bachelor's degree. That's like me saying I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. What? So now I can diagnose your kid with autism? Are you serious? I can't do that. If ask her where's her license, tell her you want a copy of her license. All you have to do, listen, people. Every state has a licensing board for all them ding-dongs that work in the school district. Okay? All of them have certification of some sort, okay, for their field. So the speech and language pathologist, she has license or certification. Some states have licensure, some states have certification, some have both. Okay? Like a BCBA. In some states, you have to have a license to practice, like in Massachusetts. If you're a BCBA, you're nationally certified. That's all you need in some states, like in Pennsylvania. That's all you need. You need to just go take the test. You're a BCBA. You can practice as a BCBA in the state of Pennsylvania. You don't need anything else. In Massachusetts, however, you need to be licensed. So in addition to national certification as a BCBA, you have to go get a license. Okay? If you don't have a license in Massachusetts, and a matter of fact, I just filed a complaint, and when you file the complaint on the BACB website, it gives you a whole list of states, and it says, in addition to filing with us, you got to go file with the state. If your complaint is if the person that you're filing against is in any of these states, and there's a whole bunch of them. It's not a lot, but it's a bunch of them. Okay. I was told by the audiologist, your child has ADHD. Will have CAP. What? No, my son has ADHD. He doesn't have central auditory processing disorder. He's just nuts. He don't pay attention. Forgets a lot of stuff. You know, fly goes by. My son's looking at the fly. He's looking at nothing over here. So no, and tell her to give you that diagnosis, because tell her ADHD is in the diagnostic statistical manual. Tell her to give you the page number. That's it, because in the DSM-5, that's what ADHD is. Okay, ADD, ADHD, bipolar disorder, autism, all the neurological disorders are in this book called the DSM-5. Okay. I hate these people. I mean, they just look at you guys and lie. You guys just start laughing at them. As soon as the words are coming out of their mouth, you know it's wrong. Just stop laughing. So here we go. You lost your mind. That's true. And then when they say, yes, it is, you say, good. Go get me the DSM-5 and give me the ICD-9 number. Not for ADHD. To show me that if you're, because, okay, let me tell you what kids with ADD have. Conduct disorder, oppositional defiant disorder. That's what they usually have. Yeah. Because they're bad. They don't pay attention. And they need a special way of learning. But that's usually what they have. But they're also the smartest kids in the classroom. 9 times out of 10, they're the smart. If they don't have any other issues, 9 times out of 10, they are the. My kid was tested with ADD. He was in the 7th grade. My kid was tested in reading and reading comprehension at a 12th grade level. He was in the 7th grade. He was one of the smartest kids in the classroom, but you wouldn't be able to tell it by his report card. Okay, report card bad. It said diffs, decent house. That's what I call them, diffs. Okay, so you tell that ding dong, I said absolutely not, and tell her to give you the DSM-5 page number where it says that under the criteria for ADD or ADHD, that it's part of CAP. You will have CAP. Tell her to show you where it says that, because no. Auditory processing disorder is completely different. In fact, I think if you've been diagnosed with auditory processing disorder, one of the rule outs is ADHD. But I can find it, because guess what I have access to? DSM-5. You remind me, I'll send it to you. I'll send you the pages. Okay. So yeah, Patricia, the school will not recognize the diagnosis of TBI Traumatic brain, okay. Other amnesia and toxic. You don't know how much your webinars I found. What you need to do is, okay. Getting hot. See what you guys make me do? Make me get hot. Okay. So, they won't accept the diagnosis of traumatic brain disorder. Do you know why? Let me tell you. So I'll bet you $10. The one that they will accept, that they made up in their teensy little heads, is less services. Yeah, it's less. It's just like autism. See, they don't like autism. So what they say is your kid has emotional disturbance, which is completely different. First of all, emotional disturbance. Oh man, I'm hot, guys. Okay, emotional disturbance. Emotional disturbance is a definition. It's not a disability. Traumatic brain, is that what it is, honey? I just want to make sure. I think that's what it is. TBI, I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. Toxic substance exposure. Wow, that's a toughie. What I would do in your case, because they're stupid, is go to the doctor. And what you need to do is have a doctor break down line by line how that diagnosis hinders your child's ability to access the general curriculum. And then you want that doctor to tell you what your kid needs as far as services and supports. Now, if the doctor can't do it, what you need to do is go to a neuropsychologist. And I believe that's what they do. That's what a neuropsych is all about, is TBI, if it's what I think it is. So what you want to do then is you want to go and get a neuropsychologist, a reputable one, really good one. And then you want to tell them, find out if they will go to the school to look at your program and find out how much they cost. And then I'll take you to the next level. I've already done this. I did this a few years ago with a kid and a neuropsych. And the neuropsych came back and said basically that the program that the school district was offering was laughable, given what the kid's needs were. And that kid didn't have nothing like what you just described. So, yeah. Okay, it is. All right, so what you need to do is you need to go get, I have a neuropsych with a well-written report. Good. So what you need to do is you need that person at the team meeting. I'm going to get that here right here. You need that person at the team meeting. Or you need that person to come see the program that your kid's in. That's what you need to do. That's what I'm doing right now with one kid, and I've done it before. The neuropsych comes in and looks at the program. And then they write another report about how bad that program is. That's what they do. Recommended services and supports for the middle school. First of all, ADD is, it depends on cognitively where the kid is. If the kid is right in average, of average intelligence, a lot of the ADD stuff could be accommodations, which means like shorter time to do assignments, to do tests and quizzes in an alternate setting. I mean, it's just a whole slew of stuff. And all you have to do is go online and type in accommodations for ADD in school, and you will get a whole host of them. I mean, it's unbelievable. The document below can be used to help you develop your complaint in a cohesive manner. It will help you keep, Mary, what you write me? Why are you writing me what I read? It will keep you organized and define what you're alleging. Why are you writing me what I already wrote? That's what I said. You trying to make me go back? So, dyslexia, your kid really needs a specific program like Orton Gillingham or Wilson. But see, that's a toughie because I don't know your case and I don't know what all of your kids' things are. Cognitive, grade superior. See, that's what I thought. See, ADD. So there's a document in this chat. It's on the page. That document's on the page. It's like 6 pages on my Facebook page, and I can send it to you later. But I need to know more information. But yeah, all you have to do is go online and type in dyslexia, and then type in ADD accommodations for both of them, or programs for dyslexia. They're out there and they're way, I mean, it's huge. Both of those things, especially for kids who are superior. You want to make sure that doesn't get any, it does, his IQ or his abilities don't drop because they're stupid. So anyhow, Mary, I'm going back there right now. So you guys brought me all off track again. Okay, so let's talk about this. So when you're writing up a complaint, right, there's a certain way you have to set it up. And like I told you before, you guys have to figure out what you're going after. Okay, what are you mad about? So let's look at some of these things right here. Any ideas for auditory processing disorder? Auditory processing disorder is hard. I mean, there's a whole lot of accommodations that the kid needs, where the kid's sitting, for instance. It's all in, for auditory processing, it's all in how information is presented to the kid. It's not telling the kid to do the work. The kid might be able to do the work, but how that kid receives the information and then processes it in their brain and then executes that, those instructions, those are 3 huge steps. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be done. I mean, I had a kid that had auditory processing disorder. His IEP was huge, but it was because of, like I said, language, methodology, accommodations. There's a lot of stuff that goes in one of those IEPs. And it's because of how they take a lot of time. And I even had a behavior one because of the way they interpret information and how they process it. Sometimes if they misinterpret what you say, they can become very nasty. It cuts you out in a minute, but it's because of how they interpreted what you said. They misinterpreted the information and they'll fight you like till the death. This is what you said, and they'll repeat it. And in their mind, it meant something else. It's the way their brain processes information. So I actually had to put something in the kid's IEP for behavior, because the kid kept getting suspended. I'm not having none of that. After that, the kid didn't have, I actually had an argument with the teacher. We're sitting at a team meeting. There's like 30 people there. Quick story. There's like 30 people at the team meeting, right? So I bring up, we're on the accommodations part of the IEP. So I say that the IEP has to include clear and concise instructions. Not bad, right? Okay. Except for one teacher takes offense to that. I look at him and I say, I'm sorry, did I offend you? Well, yes, you did, he says. I guess that was supposed to scare me. I don't know. Well, yes, you did. I said, well, I don't understand. Well, how did that offend you? And he said, well, we all do that. We all provide clear and concise directions. Well, stupid didn't know that I had samples of the kids' work in my handy dandy folder, because guess what Tammy does all the time? Tammy comes prepared. So I pulled out a piece of paper. It had 2 paragraphs on it. I handed it to him. I said, do you know what the instructions was for that paper? 2 paragraphs? He said, what? Highlight the important parts of the 2 paragraphs. I said, what happened in that? He said, he highlighted all of the work. Yes, everything. In fact, he used 2 different colors. Would you say that was clear and concise for that kid? Yeah. So, and that's just how I said it to him, because he made me mad, because he's stupid. He thinks just because he's a damn teacher, that means something to me. Teach. I don't want you to do magic. I don't want you to be the parent. I don't want you to step out of your lane. What I want you to do is your job. Then we can go to the Super Bowl. Like the Patriots do. Because you know what they do? They do their jobs. Each one, each position, each player does their job. Do your job. He didn't like it. I don't care. He shut up for the rest of the meeting. Good. That's how you get them. That's how you get them, because they're done. I'm just looking. So as far as any ideas, yeah, lots of ideas. First, go check out the internet and just type in services for auditory processing disorder, special education programs for auditory processing disorder, supports and supplemental aids, auditory processing disorder. Then type in ADHD accommodations, okay? Type in all of that for both of them. You'll get a whole load of stuff. I am not kidding, okay? So you guys know, okay? You're asking me these questions. So when you go to file a complaint, all right, break down your stuff. And by the way, Mary, yeah, I was sending this to you anyway. Break down your stuff. And this document will help you. Where is it? This document will help you to organize, okay? Because now you have a, for instance, okay? So now you have something that you can look at. Where is it? Yeah. You can look at and go, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. That's what they did. Now, and it helps you to be organized because you can actually use this. You can say, the school district did not use technically sound instruments to evaluate, okay? And then you say, the district used their opinions. That's what they did in New York. Rather than valid and reliable instruments like the Whisk-5, the Whipsy, the Wyatt-3, the Vineland, the Basque, all of those are technically sound instruments. Everything I listed there, okay? They're all technically sound, okay? So, and that's how you say it. And then you say, the school district did not reevaluate pursuant to, here's another one. The school district did not reevaluate pursuant to the state and federal timelines. This happens all the time. It's a violation. The longer it takes them to evaluate or to reevaluate your kid, the longer your kid may be going without services. For instance, if they evaluated your kid and they found that your kid needed PT or OT or speech and language, and because they missed the timeline, your kid didn't get any of these services. So every day that went by because they missed the timeline to evaluate your kid, because when they finally did decide to evaluate, now there's another 60 days. And now we got to have a team meeting. And now we have to review the IEP. So now all of this, that could be 4 months of compensatory services that they could owe your kid. All because they missed the timeline. See how that works? I want you guys to listen the way I'm pulling things together. I don't just say they missed a timeline. Oh, well, no, it's not. Oh, well, there's a reason for the timeline. The timeline means they got 60 days. They have to have a reevaluation of your kid every 3 years. They can't miss the deadline. They missed the deadline. Your kid missed the services. That's a denial of FAPE. It's just that simple. Okay, so line your ducks up. Use this document to line up your ducks, and you can use these sentences, and you can say the school district did not convene a team meeting to discuss the results of the evaluations and make a determination of eligibility within the timelines. That's what you say. And then all you have to use is your IEP, the last IEP that you had, or the evaluations that were completed. If the evaluations were completed, they got 60 days from start to finish. Start to finish means from the day you sign that consent for them to evaluate, they got 60 days to get the evaluations done, okay? Have a team meeting and make a determination of eligibility. And then if they determine your kid is eligible, they have to write an IEP. Yes. So it goes all the way to the determination of eligibility, right through to IEP. I say it goes through the IEP. I might be wrong. It might end at the determination of eligibility, but it doesn't matter because that 60 days are by itself. So if they didn't have a team meeting to discuss the results, 1, they denied your right to parent participation. 2, they denied your right as a decision-making authority for your kid. 3, they denied FAPE by not having the meeting to discuss the results. Well, I mean, they never developed an IEP. You can't develop an IEP if you didn't discuss the results. See how it all works? See? That's what I'm talking about. That's how you guys do this, okay? And here's one of my favorites, and it's missed all the time. This is how you set up your complaint. What you could do when you're doing your complaint, really, what I would do, I would set up my complaint, right? I'd set up my complaint, and I'd use this as a template. So set up your complaint and then just add in all of your stuff and delete the extra stuff that I put in there that you don't need. Okay? It's your template. So you just write violations at the top. After you fill out the application and everything, you write violations or allegations of violations of noncompliance. That's what you can put at the top of the page. And then just go in and use that. And then tell your story. Short, sweet, to the point. Don't make it difficult for them. And at the bottom of it, when you're all done writing it up, you say things like this. In the event the state omits any of the allegations pursuant to, I think it's 152, 334 CFR 300.152, they have to evaluate, they have to investigate all allegations, all of them, not the ones they feel like it, all of them. Okay, that's what they have to do. That's their job. You tell them in the bottom of your complaint, in the event the SEA, the State Educational Agency, omits or ignores any allegation, I will refile on the same allegation again. And I'll keep filing until you do your job. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, no problem, Mary. Every 3 years. Every 3 years, they have to reevaluate your kid. Every 3 years. If you look on your kid's IEP, people, it says reevaluation date. 3 years from the day they wrote the last one. Yep. It's on your kid's IEP. It has to be. Okay? Oh, good girl, Mary. Everything. How often should they evaluate? Okay, that's twofold. One, the first time they evaluate your kid is the first time. And that's because either you ask for them to evaluate or somebody who has knowledge about your kid asked them to evaluate, and then you gave them consent. And there's a whole nother thing on about informed consent, okay? Informed consent means they tell you exactly what they're going to do. They tell you why they're seeking your consent and what that consent means. They tell you all of that. That's what they're supposed to. They don't. But I'm going to teach you what to ask for. So when they do ask for consent, they're going to give you informed consent whether they want to or not. Because we're going to set them up so that because they didn't answer all your questions and they don't evaluate in all areas of suspected disability, we have this handy dandy email that says they didn't answer any of your questions. And then that gets used in a complaint because they're stupid. What I'm trying to teach you guys what to do is to anticipate a problem, okay? Anticipate what their next move is. It's like playing checkers or any kind of game, okay? You or chess. You have to anticipate their moves 2 and 3 moves ahead. They're dumb. It'll take you some time to understand, but if you've been doing this for a minute, just sit back. Go get a nice glass of wine, go sit someplace real quiet, and just think about all the no good stuff they do. After a while, you'll start to see a pattern emerge. And you'll go, oh my God, I did this, they did that. I didn't catch them on that, they didn't do this. These are the kinds of, and then you can actually look at the type of answers you're getting from them. They're all dumb. All the answers are dumb, and you can shoot holes in them. I mean, they're like Swiss cheese. It's so bad. Yes, that's basically, Mary, too. The reason why I developed this is because of you and a whole lot of people. And I always wanted to do it. And one day I was crocheting over the weekend. I'm crocheting, and I'm like, oh, I know what I need to do. And that, I swear to God, that did not take me that long. And I could go on and on and on, because for every single thing on there, there's that list that I'm giving you guys. It's 6 pages right now. But for each section, there are instances that's not all inclusive. So you can add on to all of that. I was trying to give you guys for instance, about what each category, if you say they denied FAPE, this is how you can write it. That's all that is. Yeah, it's a pattern. You could always, and I'm telling you, because they do the same thing. I told you, the reason why I know all of these laws off the top of my head is because school districts violate the same laws over and over and over again. It's disgusting. And after a while, 20 plus years doing this, oh yeah, you remember a lot of things. You remember a lot of things, okay? So what I tried to do in developing this template was to give you guys a for instance as to what goes in there. And like I said, it's not all inclusive. So if you guys hit a stumbling block and you go, Tammy, is this parent participation? Is this, prior written notice? Where would I put this one? I could tell you. But first, if you take this template and you use it and you say, okay, denial of faith, based on what Tammy said, I wonder do you understand what denial of faith is? Anytime the school district interferes with your child's education, interfering means denying services, not implementing the IEP, not evaluating on time, not evaluating in all areas of suspected disability, not implementing IDEA. All of that interferes with your kid's education, because if they don't do their job, then your kid's not going to get an education. You see, your kid only has one job. Your kid, his job or her job is to go to school and receive an education. Their job, they only have one job. Their job is to give your kid the education. You understand? So you and your kid can never, ever, ever do anything wrong. Because all you're doing is your kid is going to receive something. And they're going to give it to your kid. Because that's what the law says. They have to give it to your kid. Free. Because we live in America. So we get free education. Public education. Free, appropriate public education. Appropriate means whatever the disability is, whatever your kid needs to make sure that your kid has the same opportunity as his non-disabled peers, that's appropriate. So if your kid needs auditory processing evaluation, the school can't say we don't do that. Really? Put it in writing and show it to me. What do you mean? I don't even know what that means. You don't do that. You know what I do? I file against you. Okay. All right. You don't do. What other evaluations don't you do? Stupid. I hate when they say that. It goes up my tiny sideways. Okay. Is restricting parents from communicating with teachers all? Yes. Because if you can't talk to the teachers, then how do you find out anything? So what you do is you do it anyway. And then you start sending, because if they block you from email, then you send stuff certified return receipt. And then what you can do is just file with the school district. They're supposed to talk to you about your kid. If they're not, there's a reason why they're not talking to you with your kid. So first of all, I mean, that's a loaded question because I don't know why. But that just happened to one of my clients. And I said, oh, and it happens to me all the time. And the reason why it happens to me is because they don't like my emails. They don't like that I tell them, excuse you, is there a special reason why you just blocked me? I'm getting your emails, but you're not getting mine? Really? So if they're doing that, so how do they contact you, honey? How do they contact you when there's something going on with your kid? They just, so nobody talks to you and you don't talk to them, and that's the way they like it. That's because it's, tell them you want an observation. Tell them you want to go see your kid in school. And then what you do is you do it like every 3 months. And you go see your kid in the morning, schedule one for in the morning. Then after that one's done, because your kid will be in a different class or doing different things. So you want to see what your kid does when your kid comes out from lunch. How does your kid act? Or when he comes back from recess. You want to see what your kid looks like when he gets to school in the morning. What's your kid doing? How's he interacting with everybody? Nobody wants to talk to you? This is what you do. Too many support services needed. What? I don't even understand what that means. So they don't want to talk to you because too many support services. Put that in writing and send it to them. So just for clarification. The reason why nobody from your school district can communicate with me and other parents is because there's too many support services needed. Is that correct? Every time you guys ask them a question, you say, comma. Is that correct? Oh, no. That's not what we are. Oh, really? And sometimes those stupid idiots will tell you yes. We are only allowed to email the principal and district representative. Bite me. Email anybody you want. So what are we going to do? Not email? That's a public email. They better not be emailing nobody else. Tell them where is that written. You want to see the student handbook where that's written. Where is that policy and procedure written? Who approved that nonsense? And what you do is when you write them, you put the school superintendent, the principal, the SPED director, and the state special ed director. And you send it to all of them and you say, pursuant to our conversation, you have told all of us parents that da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Is that correct? Good, because the next email is going to be, I want to set up an observation. I don't need to talk to you. Just remember that when we go to the team meeting, because I ain't talking to nobody. I shouldn't have done that. I hope there was no kids. You guys can't have kids around when I'm talking because I don't know what's going to happen. Okay. So anyway, you're welcome, honey. Call a teacher, parent. Yeah, exactly. Oh, they want to play. Do they think they don't have any services right now? When I get done with the team meetings, because then you can tell them, you either give me a team meeting or I can file for a hearing and we can have a team meeting for that. How about that? Feel me? That's what we could do. Can they restrict the amount of time you observe if in the school? If it is the school policy that you get 60 minutes, honey, why the hell would you want to stay there more than 60 minutes? You only really need to go there to see your kid for an hour, maybe. And when you go there, do me a favor. I'm not telling you guys to go do observations just to irritate them. If you're going to do an observation, which I've told parents to do, you're collecting data. You bring paper, you bring pencils, you bring questions, okay? Yeah, there you go. You tell them, oh, I can't, okay, no problem. And there's a federal law regarding observations. And before you go and do it, go look up your state law. There should be a state law about observations because every state has to have their laws aligned with federal laws. So federal law has observations. Let me go find it. An observation law. I'll find it for you. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. BSERBA. Here it is. It's 34 CFR 300.310. Observation. Let's see what it says. The public agency must ensure that the child is observed in the child's learning environment, including the regular ed classroom setting, to document the child's academic performance and behavior in the areas of difficulty. The group described in 306 in determining whether a child has a specific must decide, and then it tells you everything, okay? So use information from an observation in routine classroom instruction and monitoring. All you need to do, girl, you inbox me, this is what you need to do, okay? It's 34 CFR 300.10. 300.310, okay? And that's what you tell them. Oh, yes. You tell them, pursuant to 34 CFR 300.310, I am requesting to conduct an observation of my child in his classroom. And then you cite what you do is, this is what you do, because we're going to play a game, okay? You're going to say which room you want to do. So if at what time of day? You want to do a morning routine. You want to do lunch routine. You want to see your kid in the lunchroom. You want to see your kid at recess. You want to see your kid when he comes back from lunch and recess. All of these are different observations. And when they say something to you, say, well, you see, had you allowed me to communicate, we wouldn't have to do this. And if they deny you the right to observe, what are they going to say? You observed him too many times? No, I didn't. I'm gathering information. Nobody is talking to me about my kid. See how all of that works? I need your correct address. I can send Jessica's response. I'll text it to you as soon as I get done, okay? Sorry I haven't called you back, Barbara. Busy girl. Sorry. When is the best time to observe? Before an annual IEP? Yes. But anytime. Anytime you want. Because especially if a school is failing to communicate with you and they actually have a policy that they don't communicate, only the principal and all of this stuff, no. And see, when I tell you guys about the law, what you do is, in your email to make your request, you copy the words and phrases from the law. For instance, you say this. I am requesting an opportunity. I am requesting to observe my child in his learning environment to document his academic performance and behavior in the area, to document his performance and behavior. That's all you put. And then you put, let's see, performance was done. And you can just say, listen, I would like to observe in his, this is even a better sentence. I would like to observe my child in routine classroom instruction and monitoring of my child's performance that was done before. Okay, and that's all you put. You see what I'm saying? Because that other part is before he was referred for an evaluation. And so what they're going to do is they're going to tell you how they're going to do it. But so you can get the wording right from the law. Okay. So when they come back and they say, well, we don't do that. What do you mean? You guys have a policy and a procedure that's not aligned with the federal requirements? Is that what you're telling me? And make sure you put everything in writing. And when they don't put it, because they're going to ring, and you don't answer your phone. You send them an email and say, on such and such a day, I received a phone call. Yeah. And it was regarding what exactly? From so-and-so. I am requesting yada, yada, yada. If you are denying me this request, please put it in writing. Otherwise, I'm expecting a date. Period. And then you give up. And then when you don't get a date, then you send them a second email, a second request on the same thread. And you tell them, I have not received a response to my request to observe my child in school. I want to observe my child, and then you give them dates. Now you're getting nasty. Now you're going to tell them about themselves. Now you're taking control. So do you tell them between this date and this date, and between this time and this time? That's what I want. Since I can't talk to the teacher, you can't stop me from going to my kid's classroom. And they're going to come back with some stupid crap about, well, you can't observe because, there's other kids in the classroom. You say, that's not what the federal law says. Do you understand that's not what the federal law says? That sounds like you're creating a problem to prevent me from doing this. Is that what you're doing? Oh, no, we're not doing that. That's good because it's called a complaint. And if you guys have this policy and practice, because what you want them to do is you want them to put it in writing that this is our policy and practice. Because now when you file your complaint, it's not just on your kid, it's on the whole school district. Wonderful. Those idiots just admitted that you can't talk to the teachers. These are the people that you can talk to. And what you do is you break it down and you say, first you say, you set them up. Is it true that I can't talk to the teachers about my kid? They'll say yes. Okay, one email down. Then you send them an email and say, I would like to observe my kid, and you tell them when. And you tell them what for. You just don't tell them that it's because you won't let me talk to the teachers. You just tell them, I want to see my kid. I want to see his routine, that stuff I just read you from that law. That's what you say. Then stupid's going to come back and say, well, you can't observe the kid because, there's other kids in the classroom. It's violation of their rights, all that. Well, that's not what the federal law says. So are you telling me I can't? So you're telling me I can't talk to the teachers. You're telling me I can't do an observation. And you're telling me because of yada, yada, yada. Is that correct? They're going to say yes. File the complaint. It's a violation of your right to meaningfully participate in your child's education. You can't talk to your kids' teachers. Crazy? They're not. How often is it recommended to send a second notice request? 10 days? I don't understand. For you to send it or for them? I don't know. If you're sending the notice, you pick the days. If you want it, if you want an answer like quick, 5, 2, 1. Sometimes I give people 24 hours. I'm not playing. And within 24 hours, they get it. If I don't hear from them, I file a complaint. I don't care. And I use that email. It's part of my evidence. I gave you all of this time, and then I give you 24 hours again, and you still didn't go good. Tell it to somebody who cares, because I don't. Our last year's IEP recommended a research-based, multi-sensory structured literacy program, and the program they used was not research-based. What Works website was it? Yes, it's a denial of faith. First of all, they can't just use a whole bunch of words on a piece of paper, and you say, what the hell is that? Specifically. That sounds like, and I've actually said stuff like this at team meetings. That sounds like a bunch of words on a piece of paper. Honest to God, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, okay? But what you just said is a classic Donald Trump sentence. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Go look at that. What does that mean? What did he get? I mean, there's a program. Your kid is supposed to get the program. See, it says program. What? You say to them, what? Just like this. What program was that? This is stupid. You put a whole bunch of words. You tell them. You put a whole bunch of words. It sounds real pretty. What does it mean? Exactly. What? This is real easy. Listen, people. This is what you say. Listen. Listen. What program? What are you talking about? That's what you say to them. You say, thank you, Barbara. I know I don't do the curlies no more. I'm all set with the curlies. I don't like the curlies. This is way better. This is me. Thank you. But yeah, that's what you tell them. Wow, 24 hours. Ugh, typically our district policy is 10 days. If you, for them to respond to you, they can't put a timeline on you. You don't work for them. There's no timeline for you. There's only a timeline for them. If you go look through an idea, anytime you see timelines for the district, there's no timelines for you. In Massachusetts, they try to say there's a timeline. If the parent doesn't sign the IEP, some states you have to sign IEP, some states you don't. But the law doesn't say you have to sign an IEP. The law just says the IEP is effective immediately. No signature needed. It's just effective immediately. So anyway, in Massachusetts, you got 30 days. Okay. And if you don't sign the IEP in 30 days, it's automatically rejected. Again, okay. Now it's the district's responsibility to notify the Bureau of Special Education Appeals that the parent rejected the IEP. Because now the Bureau of Special Education Appeals has to send the parent all of her appeal rights. Nice big envelope like this big, manila envelope with all of their rights. And guess what the school districts don't do? That. They don't want the parents knowing about their appeal rights. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Why would we do that? Why would we tell them about their rights? Would they not? So yeah, I'm sorry. So this, I knew my mother's dog is down here touching my toes. I thought I was having there's a ghost in here. Anywho, our Arizona IEP signature page is for attendance purposes. Yes, that's what they do in Pennsylvania. Yeah, good. That's not a sign page. That's an attendance page. And you should always walk out of there with that page. Okay. Just if you don't sign that page, it doesn't mean the IEP is not going to be implemented. And if they tell you that, you tell them, where does it say that on this paper? They can't make, and they do that kind of stuff to you guys all the time. They just make up rules and there's not, where is that written? Bet. So if we go to hearing, because you're telling me something that's not true, and I dispute that, I challenge that. Challenge. Who's going to be found right? Because you got nothing to support that, you ding-dongs. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you like my hair like this? Thank you. I can't. It's all flat ironed. Now I got to train my hair to be like this. And it's driving me nuts. I got to go do a deep conditioner because, girl, the curls just took control. They don't want to let go. I'm not having it in their like this. And my hair's so long, I can't even, I haven't cut my hair or touched it or anything. Well, I cut it, but I didn't do anything to it. So when I flat iron, my hair's way down my back. My hair hasn't been way down my back since I was 12. So it's kind of funny. What if the page wasn't signed by any team member for a reconvened team meeting? There was no meeting. Cite them. Cite them for not having an annual team meeting. They got no proof what they're gonna. Because nobody came to the meeting, and you can cite them for you didn't waive anybody. It doesn't matter. Thank you. It doesn't matter. That I thought there was a chair here. The lady will fall right off the floor. It doesn't matter. Just file against them. See. Here's my philosophy. If I'm miserable, I'm making everybody miserable. And I don't care what I have to file. I'm going to make everybody work. I'm going to make everybody in the state work. I don't care if I win, lose, or draw. I don't care. Because as far as this is the way I think now. If I'm making them investigate something they don't want to investigate, I'm still making them do it. I don't care. Barbara, I finally got the box. I was going to do an unboxing. Oh my God. It came in the box. It took 6 months to get. I haven't even opened it yet. Tomorrow I'm going to do an unboxing because I can use my other camera. And I'm going to do an unboxing and I'm going to load it. Okay. And I filed this complaint for this parent against a private school. I told you guys. I did my little thing. So the state, we didn't send a copy of the complaint to the school. It was just an oversight. So the state sent us a letter and they said that if we don't send it to the school, the state said they're not going to investigate. I mean, don't get crazy. Okay. So I told the mother, just mail it to the stupid school people. Okay. It was a private school. Okay. What you have to understand is this: in Massachusetts, so when your kid goes to a private school, the public school is both programmatically and fiscally responsible for your kid. So that means they're both responsible for the implementation of the IEP and the tuition to go to that school. Okay. So in order to file against a private school, according to Massachusetts, what I had to prove is that the private school had a policy and a practice that denied FAPE to everybody that attended that school. I did. I used their own documents. Here's the thing. According to the law, the state has to investigate all allegations. Okay. And according to Massachusetts, I am so hot. I can't even understand why I'm this damn hot. I know why I'm hot. Anyway, they were supposed to, the state has a policy and a procedure that, like I said, if I file a complaint, I have to send it to the school. By that same token, when the school receives a complaint, they have to respond to it after they get what's called the local report. They have to respond to the complaint and they have to send evidence because the state asked the school to send the evidence. And then what they're supposed to do is send me a copy or whoever filed the complaint. I got a copy of the findings. I got no response. I got nothing. I got all these findings and they're talking about all these documents that they looked at and reviewed and I'm like, where? I ain't got nothing. So when I got the findings, I called the woman who did it. You know that witch wouldn't answer the phone? I left several messages. She refused to answer the phone. This went on for months. For like 6 months, this went on. Okay. Actually, I think it was a little bit more. I think it was almost a year because I was living in my other house when I did it and I got the findings. So 6 months, this wench isn't answering me. I said, okay, good. So now I'm contacting OSEP. So every time I send an email, I get the 2 directors from this department and I get OSEP involved. And they're not doing anything. I'm just sending them the emails. And I'm telling them, I don't understand. So do you have a double standard? Is it just the schools are always right and the parents are never right? And so what? I don't understand. I sent you this information. I want to know why I didn't get the response. Finally, after numerous nasty emails and arguing with everybody from OSEP all the way down to that stupid school, because then I started sending stuff to Elizabeth Warren. That's when I told you guys to get on Twitter. I just got the package yesterday, 2 days ago. I just got it. 6 months to get a response. And do you know I filed against the state? Do you know they came back? They did the same thing that the Evergreen School did. They didn't have to send me any response. You know, I think those idiots did a second evaluation on the first one. They never investigated themselves. Now I'm going to file another one. You didn't investigate yourself, stupid. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I don't care. And now nobody wants to talk to me on the phone. I don't care about that either. I told them, I called the commissioner. The day I got it, I called the commissioner. And I talked to the secretary and I told her, you people are getting $643 million in special ed fund and I can't get a response for a complaint. It's taking me 6 months. She says, well, I don't know anything about it. And she says, well, what do you want me to do? I said, I want you to go tell the commissioner that I'm going to file for hearing against the state for the $643 million that you people are getting, that nobody can even get a response because the private school that costs $216,000 a year per kid can get away with whatever they want? Is that what we're doing? And then I'm going to the media. How about that? Go tell the commissioner that. I was heated. Then I got it that day. I was told by a teacher, my child does not demonstrate any disabilities and I am trying to make her disabled. What? I have countless examples. So you look at her and you go, so you just live in La La Land and you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Is that what's going on up there? You're a teacher? So what's this? You stupid. You bring that up at the next team meeting. You say, I don't know what your problem, you call her out. You call her out and you say, I want you to tell everybody at this meeting what you said to me on such and such a day. Do you recall the conversation we had? That's what you say to her. Are you so narrow-minded at what you don't know how to read these evaluations? Is that what it is? I call her out. It looks like it was me. What? Okay, wait a minute. What? Yeah, you're going to get the details, all right. The feds work, state work, equal opportunity, torture, and what that's exactly. All of that. Please send me your address for us to send you a gift. Oh, okay. You're such a sweetie pie. Barbara's not funny. So, I hate this thing. Okay, good. See, I go nuts. I don't understand. Okay, why is this not moving? Okay. What if the page is assigned by any members? Okay, I told you what to do. Okay, 100%. Yep, people suck. Oh, God, they suck. Wow. Yes, okay. I want to know all the deeds. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to show you what I got, because I'm filing again because you're stupid. Please, man. Can't believe you just said that. That's so sweet. Kimberly. Okay, what's this? What if a general education teacher were not present and people who were present, speech and a person who was file against them? What if? There's no what if. We're just going to pretend they didn't. Remember, if I'm the advocate and I get your paperwork, I'm fine. That's going to be something they're going to have to explain. What are they going to say? Well, nobody. That's a procedural violation. That's a procedural violation. You didn't waive anybody. See, when they do stuff like that, it's called a procedural violation. And sometimes they're teensy, and it really doesn't matter. But like, for instance, it does matter because those people that weren't there or those people that were there didn't sign the document. So, I mean, that might not be that bad, but now they got nothing to stand on. So now they can't say, well, I was there. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. You weren't there. And what if a general education, they have to be present. And if you didn't waive them, that's a violation. And that whole thing that you just said, that's a violation. Because no matter how you slice it, it was all wrong. You never waived the people. First of all, the two teachers were supposed to be there. If your kid gets regular ed and special ed, both of the teachers are supposed to be there. And if you didn't waive them, and that's another thing, you guys, if you don't waive these people, if they're supposed to be, they can't say, well, we're only gonna. No, you're not. You put it in writing who you want at the team meeting. You tell them who you want, because the law says that you can invite whoever you want to invite. And so can the district. And as long as you guys agree, they can come. And it doesn't matter. You can bring anybody you want. If you're bringing somebody from outside who has special knowledge about your kid, you can do that. If you're bringing somebody to be a witness to whatever going on, to take notes, whatever, your assistant. I actually had a girl Friday. That's what I called her, my girl Friday. She took all the notes and everything. You can do the same thing. But if there's somebody from the school that you want at the meeting, or a team member, you make sure, because that's why they're supposed to send you a list of all the people that they invited. And then you can add to that list from the school people. They can't say they can't come, they're busy. What? You got 2 seconds to get those people at that table, because I'm not waiving them. They're part of the team. I want them there. They have to do with my kid. I have questions for them. And even if you say hi, I don't care. You tell them either they come to that meeting or I'm filing a complaint as soon as the meeting's over, because I'm not waiving them. They need to be there because we're talking about my kid's IEP. And they need to know all of the stuff, accommodations, how they got to present information, a whole bunch of stuff. They got to be there because I said so. That's what you're telling me. Case management. Okay. That's all. You should have walked out and said, I don't know what this is. This is not a team meeting. Where's everybody? I'm not waiving, or sit there and say, I'm not waiving anybody. Or I'm filing against you as soon as we're done. That's what you're telling me. I was told by a teacher, my child, no, yeah, I'm just going through these things. Please ask for her medical credentials. Yeah. Show aggression. There was a meeting for Sean and Rachel and did not attend either. So there was nothing sent to. I don't even understand me. If there was a meeting, then they have to send you. You contact them and you tell them you want the team meeting notes and you want a copy of everybody that attended the meeting, because for Sean, we know nobody went to that meeting because he ain't got nobody. Yeah, no OT, no PT, no speech and language, no BCBA, got nothing. Stupid friggin' school. Anyway, you send them an email, and you, for both of the kids, same email, do it for different schools. And then you tell them that you want the team meeting, minutes of the meeting, and you tell them that you want a copy of anything that was used at the meeting, copies of all of the stuff that they used, and you want all of the people that attend the sign-in sheet. That's what you tell them, okay? What should school district use to show aggression or regression? There's nothing they can, evaluations. They can't show regression the way they want to show regression. And the way they want to show regression means nothing. They need to evaluate at the end of the school year. And I mean like a real evaluation, not the teacher's opinion. They can't show regression based on the school district's findings, because their findings are biased and they have an agenda. They don't want to give your kids summer school. They don't want to do none of that. So as soon as they put it in writing, and okay, you guys, if you want summer school for your kid, if you want ESY, you guys have to do that early. So if you haven't done it yet, do it now. Because what the school districts are doing is they say, well, we don't discuss that until the end of the year. You know why? Because they're going to tell you no, okay? Or they're going to tell you you're only getting a certain amount, all this stupid nonsense. And then guess what you can't do? Dispute it, because you are not going to have enough time. Because it takes 60 days for them to do an investigation. Or if you do a hearing, you're not even going to be in front of a hearing officer within 60 days after school lets out. So guess what your kid's not getting? ESY for that school year. So everybody, when you want ESY for your kid, I don't care when your kid's IEP is. If it's not in his IEP and your kid is scheduled to have a team meeting in January, February, or March, bring it up. And what they're going to tell you is, no, we don't do it. You tell them you're going to do it. And they're going to say something like, well, we're not going to see regression. First of all, I don't know what you're talking about. My kid has yada, 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 yada. So how are you telling me he's not got my kid? So my kid can remember all of this stuff. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? How about if we go back years? Because we can go back last year or the year before. Because I can go back 2 years in a hearing. That's what you tell them. And I can prove you had knowledge that my kid was going to regress. And you deliberately set this team meeting up to discuss ESY to the end of the school year so that I wouldn't get it anyway. That's what I'm going to do. Is that what you want me to do? Because we can go, because if I go to hearing, I'm going back 2 years. And I'll bet you $10 I prove regression. And then I'm going to prove that you did all of this on purpose to hurt my kid. Is that what you, and then I'm going public with the decision. Is that what you want me to do? That's what you tell them. Okay. Go get your team meeting right now for ESY. Every last one of you. If you want ESY, go get it. I was told district has a choice of whom they invited, the teacher, the district. Can we say, no, that's not true. What if the district says no? Tell the district to put it in writing. Tell the district you're inviting your own people from the school, and tell the district that this person has knowledge and about your kid, and that you need that person at your team meeting. And if the person isn't at the team meeting, you're not waiving them. Okay, you're not going to waive them. And then you're going to file a complaint because they weren't there. How about that? Because the law says you can invite anybody you want. And if both sides agree, then it's a done deal. But they can't say we're only going to invite because here's the law. What the law? Here's the law. I think it's 300.32 something. I'll find it for you. It's the team meeting. IAP team members. Wait a minute. What? There it is. IEP team. Guess what that is? Yes. They actually have a law about the IEP team. Let me tell you who's supposed to be there. The parents of the child, not less than one regular ed teacher. If the child's participating in regular ed, not less than one special ed teacher. If the child's participating in special education, a representative of the public agency, a team member. And guess what the team chair. And guess what? That team chair is supposed to have the ability to, if you ask them for a service, that the team chair has to have the authority. That's the designated person. That person has authority to make decisions at your team meeting as to whether or not you can get a particular service that you ask for. If that person says they have to go ask the SPED director, that's an illegal team. She didn't have the authority. End the team meeting right then and there. Then file against them because she was supposed to have the authority. Here's what the law said. Is qualified to provide or supervise the provision of specially designed instruction to meet the unique needs of children with disabilities. That's the representative of the public agency. You know what that means? That's the team chair from the school, okay? Is knowledgeable about general education curriculum and is knowledgeable about the availability of resources of the public agency. The reason why she has to know all of that stuff is whether or not she can tell you can have it or not. Yeah. An individual to interpret instructional, okay. An individual who can interpret the instructional implications of evaluation results. So that means everybody that has to, if it's a meeting to discuss evaluations, then everybody that wrote an evaluation, they all have to be licensed in their respective fields, and they're the only ones that can talk about their evaluation, okay? So what I'm trying to say is you can't have the speech and language pathologist talking about the psychological evaluation. Way out of her lane. Yeah, no, that's illegal. At the discretion of the, here's the part you want to know. At the discretion of the parent or the agency, other individuals who have knowledge or expertise regarding the child, including related service personnel as appropriate and whenever appropriate, the child with the disability. These are members of the team. So when the wombats tell you that they get to decide, you tell them, no, not so much. You might want to go check out 34 CFR 300.321 IEP team. And then you say, so are you telling me that the school district's policies and procedures are not aligned with the federal requirements? Is that what you just told me? Doofus? 321, mwah, I love you. Compensatory services, they can be absolutely, if that's when they can do it. I actually had two kids that I was representing in Massachusetts. They were owed so many services. They were little kids. They were very complex. They were owed so many services. Do you know we got monetary damages? Yep. We didn't even go to hearing. We got monetary damages because there were so many services. There was no way these two kids were going to be able to get all of these services. Plus, see, this is what they don't want to tell you. When you get compensatory services, you get the compensatory services. So let's say they owe you 10 hours of PT. So there's, and in the new IEP, your kid's getting 2 times 30 PT. So compensatory services are the 2 times 30 PT and the new IEP plus the 10 hours of PT they owed you. So 2 times 30 could be 4 times 30 until the compensatory services are used and provided. See, that's how that works. Yes, Linda, compensatory services during the summer, absolutely. The school district doesn't have a choice. They can bite me. If they have expertise and work with the child, you can invite, absolutely. You can invite anybody you want. But let's say, because I hear this all the time and it infuriates me. Let's say your kid has a one-to-one aide. Out of everybody that's sitting at that team, besides you and your kid, who do you think would be the most important person? The one-to-one aide. You know why? The one-to-one aide can give you more information about your kid and his day-to-day routine than anybody else. They can all talk about PT services and OT services. They can't tell you about what your kid is actually doing, and that's why they don't want the one-to-one aides in there. But you can invite the one-to-one aide, and if they tell you no, then you tell them to put it in writing. Is it legal for a classroom teacher to evaluate, collect data for their assistive technology? No. They have to be trained. I mean, for all intents and purposes, she can collect all the data. First of all, if she's doing an evaluation, you have to do consent. You have to have consent, because especially if she's only doing it for your kid. So, okay, let me tell you how informed consent works. In order for anybody to do an evaluation on your kid, even an observation on your kid, you have to provide them with consent, informed consent, which means they have to tell you why they're seeking your consent. What are they doing that they need your consent for your kid? Now, if the teacher is collecting data and doing all of this for all the kids, then you don't need consent. But if it's specifically for your kid, she needs consent. She's collecting data for your kid, which means if she needs consent, it's an evaluation. See how that works? It's an evaluation. Because she has a timeline, 60 days. Then she has to write up the report. Assistive technology, only an OT can do that. An OT she can't do that. Assistive technology, I think we had this conversation before. Yeah. A classroom amplification system. I don't even know what she's collecting data for. What is she collecting data for? To prove what? That your kid needs it? I mean, the OT can do that. The OT can do that. I don't know why they use it. She has to have that done. You tell her that it's no good. So ask her when she's going to have it ready. You want it now. And if she's been doing this since the beginning of the school year, you tell her, you send an email to the school, the special ed director, and you tell the special ed director that you want to have a team meeting to discuss the results of the evaluation that the teacher's doing on your kid for assistive technology. And you want a copy of the written evaluation 48 hours before the team meeting. That's what you do. Because now they're screwed. Now they're screwed. Because she's going to say what? And then, because she's supposed to be doing this assistive technology evaluation for a device, and she has no thing. So what they did is they used a teacher. They dragged this out. So they're in violation of timelines. They're in violation of consent. They're in violation of a credentialed person doing an assessment. What does she know about this? And then you tell them you want a copy of her credentials. And if it's a Title I school, they have to give it to you. They have to give you her credentials. And if they don't give it to you, what you can do in a lot of states now, they're putting the teacher's credentials online at the Department of Education in your state. Yes, they did prove it, why they got rid of it. They can't, okay, if it was it in the IEP, if ESY was given 1 year, then denied the following year, what do? Reject it and tell them you want it back. They can't just take it away. They have to do an evaluation. That's a service. So your kid got an extended school year, 1 year, and then the next year he didn't get it. So why? What was their reasoning? If they're refusing to give you that service, then they have to tell you why. They have to put it in writing. I know, doesn't it? They're crazy. They're just crazy. Jesus. I don't understand why they do the things they do to you people, but anyway, they do it. So let's get back to this, because you guys drive me crazy. You're not letting me do my job. Okay, so here we go. So now I got to look at this. All right, so basically everything that we just talked about was you ability to meaningfully participate in the decision-making process with your kids' education. Everything was that they denied parent participation. So when a school district tells you you can't have a certain person at your team meeting, that's a denial of parent participation. That's what I would say it is. When the school district says only certain people can be at your team meeting, that's a denial. When they tell you, when they're saying they're doing an evaluation and then you never get it, or the teacher's doing it, and then you ask for a team meeting and it's forever, then that's a denial of, and then you ask for a team meeting and you get the runaround, that's a denial of parent participation. Okay. Let me see what's on some of these other things that you guys said. When they tell you you can't have somebody to come to the team meeting that you want, like the one-to-one aide or somebody else, that's a denial of your right to participate. Anything having to do with the team meeting process, and they tell you no, limiting what you can do at that team meeting. If they're telling you, oh no, we can only have this meeting for an hour, well, you're going to have to reschedule because we ain't done. And I'm not doing this forever, so we better get done real quick. Because I'm not having 2, 3, 4, 6 team meetings because you people don't want to develop an IP, because the next thing I'm going to do is file against you for dragging this out. That's what we're going to do. Because worst case scenario, they can give you one already. So you can reject and accept it in part. So whatever you reject, that's what's not implemented. What you accept is. And you just have the team meeting to fix the rest of it. If you want to negotiate like that. If not, I would just file a complaint because they're stupid. Okay. So anytime during a team meeting or observation, the fact that they're telling you you can't talk to the teachers, that's a violation of your right to meaningfully participate as the education person, the decision-making process. That's a violation of parent participation. Yep, because you can't talk to them. They've limited, they've restricted, they've conditioned how you can interact with the school regarding your kid and his education. That's illegal. Their policies, procedures, and practices are more restrictive than the idea. They can't have that. That's a violation because it limits your ability to adequately represent your kid and his rights because he's a minor and you're your kid's advocate. So they can't do that. So that's all parent participation under this list that I just gave you guys. Okay. I'm just looking at some more stuff. So that's under there. So what did I put? District doesn't allow the parent to participate. When the district predetermines, that's another thing. When the district predetermines services, supports, and placement, or when the district offers a take it or leave it option regarding what they are offering in the IEP. That's also anything, remember, anything having to do with the IEP, the development of the IEP, the services that you want, when they're telling you no, every time they tell you no, when you're at a team meeting for a service that you want, you look at them and you say, you're going to put that in writing, right? And then you write on a piece of paper, they just said no. So you go in there with your list. And every time you ask them for something, you refer to the evaluation that you're asking it from. And you say, you're giving me that, right? So how many, and then you just look at them like they're giving it to you. You say, so I was thinking like 2 times 30, or like the evaluator said 1 times 30. I'm looking at 1 times 30 for PT. I'm getting that, right? And if they say no, you just write no right next to that on your list. Then everything they said no to, then you reiterate. You go back and you go, okay, so you said no to the 1 times 30 for PT. You said no to extra time completing assignments. You said no to so-and-so coming to the team meeting. You said, that's what you do at the end. Then you say, so all of these no's, I'm expecting prior written notice on as to what you relied on to tell me no, and all of my rights, because you told me no. That's the kind of stuff you do at a team meeting. That's what you do. They hate it. They don't know what to do with you. That's the other thing. The district limits the amount of time the parent can ask questions during a team meeting. Can't even tell you guys how many times that's happened where I had to tell them, excuse you. So let me get this straight. You guys think you're going to do all the talking and all we did was to come here and show up and we're just what? Not going to say anything? So here's what we're going to do. Either, okay, we get to talk and ask questions,
Or I can file for a hearing and subpoena all of you. How about that? Now get my questions answered that way. Is that what you want me to do? Because I'm real cool with doing it. I don't care. And don't think for 1 second that I won't file for a hearing. I will. Then everybody smartens up, and then they let me do me. The district, oh, and that's the other thing. I don't like your attitude. I don't like your tone. I don't care either. I don't care nothing about what you like or don't like. You're not going to give me limitations, conditions, and restrictions while you guys just run amok all over the parents' rights. We're not doing none of that. The district removes services, supports, educational services, related services without evaluating the student. You guys have to remember this. The district cannot, under any circumstances, remove any services of any type unless they evaluate. And in order to do it, they got to get your consent. They can't take away anything. Everything that was in the IEP before has to stay there. They can't take it out in the middle of the school year. They can't say we're just not going to implement it, but it's in there. You have the proof. Use it. The district does not obtain informed consent before removing the services. That happens all the time, especially lately. Failure to obtain parent consent is when the district evaluated the student without obtaining informed consent that would tell the parent why they were evaluating the student, the type of assessment that was going to be administered to the student, and the name and credentials of the individual who was conducting the evaluations. All of that is a violation of parent consent. All of it. The district did not provide the parent with prior written notice of the district proposal to evaluate in a timely manner. Maybe it's part of prior written notice, all of it. Failure to provide prior written notice. This is what you guys have to do. So you guys can actually use these sentences, take this and use it as a template. I'm telling you. And it doesn't matter. You can use this for a complaint and you can use it for due process. Whatever one you guys want to do. Just do it. Read it over. Let me know what you guys think about this stuff. Because I just want to make sure that you guys, what is this? District sent a draft IEP home to review. They had already filled in a paragraph of information describing the reasons the IEP team rejected ESY, but the IEP team hasn't even. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's predetermination. And that's what you're going to reject it on. Don't do nothing with that IEP. If anything, you tell them I'm rejecting it on that. Go back and look at it. But you can reject it on predetermination. They already determined your kid before the team meeting. So they violated that. They predetermined your kid's placement. They predetermined services. They denied your right to meaningfully participate in the development of the IEP. I mean, they did a whole bunch of stuff there. Whole bunch. And you don't know what they used to make that determination because, again, you didn't participate in the decision-making process. Oh, God, I would go after them so bad. And they're screwed because they already put it in. I mean, it's not like they can take it back. It's like a fart. It's not like you can. It's up there. Oh, God. Oh, God, I would have such a field day with them. So that's what they have been doing because this school right here, good, 25 meetings, that's what you do. Can I invite the last school year's teacher? Yes, you can invite anybody you want. You know why you can? And when they tell you no, you say, well, here's the thing. Either, because they don't know if you're bluffing. Either the teacher from the previous year comes because of this, this, and this, or I'll subpoena her at the hearing. Then I'm going to find. How about that? Her testimony is key. Or her testimony will be key. And if she doesn't come, I'll go to a judge. Like in Massachusetts, if you subpoena people and they don't come, you can go right to a judge. And then you get an order from a judge for them to come to the hearing. And then if they don't show, you go to the judge and you say they didn't show. The judge gets them for contempt of court. Tammy's that kind of girl. I tell them all the time, I will get you for contempt of court. Don't show. Do me a favor. And then when I have to go in front of a judge to get an order for you to come to the hearing, I'm going right across the street to the nearest newspaper. And I'm going to tell them what I had to do. Is that what you want me to do? Because I don't really care. Yep. Paul, they said they don't see regression, but regression every year after summer. I don't know what they mean. What I would do is push that envelope. What do you mean that you don't see regression? You don't have any documentation of regression? Because I got a whole year's full of stuff about regression. He regresses every day he goes to school. You gotta reteach. And that's another thing. See, anytime they have to reteach what your kid previously learned the day before or the week before, that's regression. That's regression. Anytime your kid when he learns a novel skill, brand spanking new to your kid, the only way your kid can remember it is to rebuild, to make sure that your kid doesn't forget the other skill, is to review the previous skill learned and then work that in. That's regression. That's what regression is. Tell them to give you what they said is regression. Tell them to give you the definition of regression. You want to know what they see. What does that mean? What they see. That's what you're using? Good. Tell them, okay. Don't argue with them. You guys got to know when to argue and when not to argue. When those idiots say we don't see regression, make sure they put that in writing. And then I'm going to show you how to get them. Okay? I'm going to show you how to get them before school lets out so your kid gets ESY. Okay? So this is 16. No, they have to use evaluations. They have to use the IEP. Now, for instance, let's say hypothetically your kid didn't make any gains. Or they wrote the same IEP that they wrote the year before. Guess what that means? Your kid regressed. That's what it means. Your kid regressed so much they had to write the same IEP, which, by the way, is illegal. They can't write the same IEP. They can't do that. That means that previous IEP did not meet your kid's unique needs. Anytime your kid in an IEP doesn't meet the criteria, doesn't meet the goal and objectives in your kid's IEP, that means regression. That means the IEP they wrote was too challenging for your kid. That means after the summer, your kid is going to take 4 months to catch up on and review. Your kid has to review everything all over again before they can give them anything new. See, that's how you get them. And if you have years, if you can go back to, look at 2 years in a hearing, you can go back. All you have to do is pull the previous work from your kid. That's why you guys should be saving. When your kid comes home with work, take a picture of it. Scan that sucker right into your phone and then save it to your computer. Put it in a file. Okay? That's what you have to do. Can I invite? Yes, you can. Okay, I'm doing something here. I am Sean's legal guardian. Got it on Tuesday. What? Oh, you did? So it's all done. It's all set. See? Yeah, Barbara and I did that. I live in Pennsylvania. I helped Barbara fill out all the paperwork from the courts because her son's 18. I helped Barbara fill out the paperwork for her son, for her to be the legal guardian. She got it in 10 minutes in 1 day for 90 days. 90 days later, she has to go back to some stuff she has to do. You go in front of the judge, blah, 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 blah. Then the judge finally issues guardianship. We did it. How much did you pay, Barbara? $15 or something like that? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You know why? Because when Barbara went in there, I had all of her paperwork ready. I said, go in there with this. Here you go. The stupid school her kid's in, they had the audacity to tell me on the phone that they have the capacity to do the guardianship papers and then they would become the guardian. The school. And then they would do his Social Security and they would become the rep payee. I took that phone away from my ear and I was like, if you lost your damn minds, like that will ever happen. She will have guardianship the day that kid turns 18 in 10 minutes flat for free. Wasn't free. She paid $15. Yeah. 504 relabeled as IEP, escalating and seeking counseling. Oh God, I'm trying to go guardian, got it on Tuesday. I'm so happy for you. Feel better now? Want to help what? Want to help me? There is another filled out least restricted. Oh, I forgot about least restrictive environment. Oh, that's a whole topic. Least restrictive environment is so funny. Do you know least restrictive environment also means putting a high functioning kid in a low functioning class. That's a violation of the kid with the high functioning, the kid that's able to do the work. That's a violation. That's least restrictive for him because the kid can't do anything. The kid is limited to what those other kids can do in the classroom. So that's least restrictive environment. It's really cool. Least restrictive. I got to do that just on least restrictive. I got to do all of that because it's just, there's another. Oh God, that is such a huge topic, Kimberly. I can't even believe I keep going back to that statement. They rejected the IESY. So I guess you don't even count, honey. You don't count. You're not the boss of me. I hate them. I really do hate them. I am so proud of you. I am. I'm so, because I know you're sleeping way better. Yeah. It wasn't that hard either. I'm telling you, every single state, as far as I know, every single state has everything online now. You do not have to go to court until the day you have to step in front of a judge. And for guardianship, in Massachusetts, it's actually hard. Oh God. It's actually hard because they changed the laws as far as, terminating somebody's rights. It's a big deal. But in this particular instance, and in many instances, I should say, it's necessary to protect them from themselves and to make sure they're always safe. So you got to do what you got to do. Mainstream last year to culture. Good job. Is that good? Are you happy? I don't understand. Least restrictive environment. Kiddo went to mainstream last year to co-taught classes this year. It's difficult because you got to look at why, how, what were the issues. You guys don't have to accept these things. You could just say absolutely not. If you touch my kid's staying right. When they change in your kid's placement, they have to do prior written notice. That's a placement. At least when you go from one environment to another environment, from a more restrictive to a less, or from a less to a more restrictive environment, that's a change in placement. You have the right to tell them to stick it where the sun don't shine. You're leaving my kid right where my kid's at. I don't care nothing about it. The judge was glad to meet me. Oh, and I was glad to hear Sean did well at the yearly physical. Good job. Good job. That's my girl. So yeah, you guys, you have to understand, anything the district proposes does not mean you have to accept it. You can reject everything if you want. Granted, within reason. You guys can't just be rejecting shit just for the hell of it. New school, I don't care what school it is. I don't care. They can't change your kid's environment because it's going to a new school. They have to have the right. The school district is responsible for having the appropriate program to meet your kid's unique needs. I don't understand how the school said, because your kid's going to a new school, unless that school had a better program, I don't understand how that changed from they went a more restrictive environment to a less. They should be able to, okay, if that was in the IEP, in Massachusetts, your kid can stay in a classroom with kids who are 48 months apart from your kid. Okay. So if the school doesn't have a program, your kid can stay in that program. Okay. That's what you can do. So what I would do is reject. If you want your kid back in that, reject that placement and put him back. Tell them this isn't working. If you like it, then leave it alone. If you don't, put your kid back and say, this is a colossal fail. I'm sorry you people don't have a program for my kid, but you need to figure it out because this is a violation of LRE. My kid can't go. The school districts want you guys to believe that least restrictive means regular ed. It's not. That's not what least restrictive means. It's least restrictive as it relates to the kid, not to the school. And the school always wants to say it's about them. I don't care. $643 million Massachusetts is getting every year. And special education funding, not to mention the state and the local taxes, they're getting it too. So it's way more money than that. So I don't care. The program sucks. Reject the IEP and reject the IEP for the placement. And tell me what you get back in that other classroom now. Or tell them to tell you why, because they can't just put your kid over there. Tell them this IEP is not meeting my kid's unique needs. My kid was in a more restrictive environment and you bounced him over here just because he changed schools. What are you, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? That's what you tell them. That's what you tell them. You reject it. Reject the placement. That's what I would do. I'm so happy for you, Barbara. Barbara, I'm going to call you tomorrow. No problem. You guys go check out that template I put out there. I'm going to make it even better. I'm going to put some more stuff up, so it's going to be amended, okay? It's not all inclusive. If you have any questions about it, let me know, okay? And I will get in touch with you guys. It's 9:30. I just can't stop talking when I get you guys on the tube. I hope this was helpful, and I love it when you guys do take me off track, but I like it because you're getting your questions answered, and that's really what this is all about. It's not about me and my topics. I try to generate a conversation, and it does work because all of this stuff that we talked about is in that paperwork. So if you guys have a problem with any of the stuff you told me today, go look at that paper and file a nice little complaint. That's what you do. All of this stuff you guys told me was complaint material. And if you need help, you call me up and you let me know, okay? Anybody that wants to do a donation, you can do GPay and just use my telephone number. It's or my email address, spedissues@yahoo.com on GPay, and at what do you call it? And I think my address is on there. I'm not sure. If you want, I can send you I can put it on my, if you want my address, I'll do it individually. I just don't want a whole bunch of stuff coming to my house because, you know, it's crazy. So, I mean, not, you know, paperwork and cases and stuff, because unless I've accepted it, I can't. I just can't. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm ignoring you if you sent me stuff. But if you want my address, just inbox me tomorrow or later on tonight, and I'll send you my email address. If you want to do like a donation, oh, I greatly appreciate it. Any amount is fine with me. I don't care. It helps. It really does. So I'm gonna say, oh, go to GPay. I think you can use my spedissues@yahoo.com or my telephone number, which is it's on my Facebook page. So you can use that. It's my Google telephone number. So you can use that. And thank you guys so much. You guys are so important to me. You have no idea. And this is so much fun. I just love it to death. As much as it aggravates me and I want to choke people out, I'm telling you, you guys are so much fun and you're so enlightening and you have no idea. I feel your pain, and I wish I'm trying my best to Cyrano de Bergerac you all. If you know what that means, is to whisper in your ear, tell you what to do. I like this kind of advocacy better. You guys don't like it, but you know what? It works better for you, because if they know I'm behind you, this is going to be way worse. They think you guys don't know. They don't think you have anybody backing you up. And that works for you. They're underestimating what you know, and that all works for you. So I would ask them so you can meet his needs here. I don't know what you're talking about, Linda. Thank you so much. No, you guys are all amazing. Linda, I will talk to you about tomorrow. Barbara, you too. And Wendy. After 4, guys. I'm done at 1 p.m. I'm working tomorrow morning. The program sucks. You guys are funny. All right. I love you all. I'll see you next. I was going to say I'll see you next Tuesday. I mean, I'll see you next Thursday. I'm going to actually use Thursday. That's cool. That's what I could do. I can get a cup that says, see you next Thursday. Okay. I will talk to you. Can you request life skills? And absolutely. Life skills, of course. Oh, that's under 34 CFR 300.43. If your kid is, it depends on what state you're in. If you're in Massachusetts, the school district, by the time your kid is 14, has to do what's called a transitional assessment, which includes life skills. And even if your kid isn't, you can still tell them you want them to do ADLs. Then there's a whole bunch of tests for that. So let me know and I can find them. One of the best tests or assessments is called the Vineland. Vineland. Tell them you want the Vineland done, and that does the life skills. It talks, it's communication, it's a whole bunch. And I can give you that information. Okay. Oh, yep. You want the Vineland. Tell them you want the Vineland. Yep. Okay. I love you. Oh, you're in Mass? Yes. And when your kid is 14 years old, they have to do what's called a transitional assessment, and that includes the life skills. But what you want really is the Vineland for your kid. You put it in writing. You tell them you want them to assess, and you want them to do a Vineland. Massachusetts schools all know about the Vineland. And if they don't like that, you tell them, well, these are all the areas. I'll tell you what to do. I'll give you a copy of all the areas that the Vineland covers, and that's what you, oh, good. Well, then I want you to do this. If they give you a problem, well, we don't do the Vineland. Oh, you don't? So I want all of these areas, and I'll send it to you. So inbox me tomorrow. Give me test scores and give me a quick rub down. Yeah. Give me a quick rub down. That's what I need. Give me a quick rub down, crazy girl. Would you be able to review test scores? The rub down, not so much. Test scores, maybe. Inbox me on my Facebook page, guys. All right. I love you. I'll see you guys on Thursday, and I'm trying to do vlogs, video vlogs. LOL, transitional. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna stop. We know it didn't work so well for your kids, but it's okay. I mean, he's in a very expensive school. Several, in fact. So anyway, all right. I'll talk to you guys. Inbox me, PM me, and on Facebook, on my Facebook page, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Okay. I love you all. Bye-bye.